What's going on, YouTube? This is Nepal V. I am back to you with another video. It's kind of weird making a video because here's the thing, dude. I don't really make videos anymore. I usually just stream and I make shorts, and many of you who have subscribed to me, you most likely subscribed from my shorts, okay? Let's just be real. Now, I don't really have a script for this, so I'm just like speaking straight off the dome. Whatever writing, like whatever I did to like write, I have like a few an outline I want to follow, and I will try my best. So please stick with me for the whole journey. Okay. So for those of my long-term viewers, you have been following me for game development content. And yes, that was the intention of my channel initially, to do exactly that, game development content. And I have like slowly moved away from that towards gaming. Now, I just want to make one thing clear. I have not stopped game development, okay? I am still working on Bubble Tank Frenzy. I am a game developer as so far that I'm only working on one game, Bubble Tank Frenzy, okay? And for, if you've been noticing it, like, even in my game development streams, like, I wouldn't count me playtesting Bubble Tank Frenzy as a quote-unquote game development stream, because the thing is, I don't really explain what I do in Bubble Tank Frenzy. Like, I don't go through it line by line, as I did when I first started in 2024. And there's a reason for that, okay? So, at a certain point, when the project was growing, I had a choice. I had to make a choice, because there's two choices here, okay? I could either teach people game development, so essentially just walk through every line of code I write, so that, you know, those who are watching have a solid understanding. And the con of that would be I wouldn't be making progress on Bubble Tank Frenzy. So the more I talked about what I did, as like providing explanations and whatnot, the more time it would take to develop the game. And my goal from the beginning was to essentially develop the game. And, you know, the other option was, okay, well, I'll continue working on my game, like in the background, and not put so much effort on explaining the technical side, and just focus on the playtesting side, because what am I doing at the end of the day? Creating a game, right? So, I obviously chose the latter path, creating the game, okay? And let's be real, that's basically what my latest dev streams are. They're just me, like, playtesting, and it's going to be that way for quite a long time, okay? Going forward, and it was always like that, as a matter of fact, but I'm just sort of making this official, okay? Alright, so, and you might be wondering, I could be doing both, you know what I mean? I could be doing, like, game development and like explaining the code while still making the game, and still make like significant progress, and without adding any necessary delays. And you know what? You'd be right about that, but there's just one problem though. If I did that, I need full-time hours, okay? I need to be streaming full-time. That's one thing that separates me from other game dev streamers. They actually have time. I don't. So that's why I had to like make a trade-off, make a choice. Either work on my game and playtest it live, or, you know, develop the whole thing live. Like, nothing I do is offline. at the end of the day, here's the thing. I love playing games, okay? Playing video, like, I'm a gamer first that happens to game dev. And I actually had a conversation with Imaginary Villain, who actually is working on a game. Shout out to Imaginary Villain. It's a 3D Metroidvania. I didn't think that was such a genre, but apparently it is. And I have to say, like, programming is fun, but it's probably like the least boring part. It's probably the most like least boring, least interesting part of game development for viewers anyway. And when I develop things, I don't write code manually anymore. I use AI like Claude. You probably seen me use Claude for brainstorming and essentially just designing the systems. Now, it's not perfect because it does provide bad code. However, it is way better at game development than, and this is not sponsored by Claude, but I do recommend Claude if you're a Unity developer because, bro, I've made so much progress on. But there's something that you have to keep in mind though. You have to actually know the fundamentals of programming in order to actually like know what to ask Claude. So if you ask it to do something and it just spits out code, it will work, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna be perfect. So that's another thing, and I feel like me just building that and just explaining it, which I try. It's not the most interesting thing. The most interesting thing is the final thing, the final product, right? Is that instant gratification? Maybe. But what am I doing at the end of the day? I'm making a fun game. I want to make a fun game. My whole motivation behind Bubble Tank Frenzy is exactly that, to make a fun game. So, and I want to release it as soon as possible. And I'm not saying I want to rush it. I just want to, like, make a lot of progress to the point where it's, like, ready for, you guys to play. And I do appreciate the feedback I get on live streams. I mean, that's why I do the playtesting, so that people can recommend stuff and I can add stuff to my to-do list. Like, I do take every feedback. Some of it is like out of scope, but that's kind of like something that I like do behind the scenes. Like, filter out the ones that are interesting and ones that can be done, and ones that are, kind of out there. Yeah, so I wanted to make this video because a couple of people came up to me and asked, hey, why don't you do game dev? Do you still do game dev? The answer is yes, but I treat the game, like, playtesting as just another game I stream. And I'm probably, like, playtesting, I feel like there's a specific, like, methodology behind it, but I'm not following any of it. I'm just playing it as a gamer would, and I kind of wish more developers did that, because it's an easy way to fish out bugs. But that might just be a me thing, because I'm all about gameplay. I mean, I changed my graphics to cartoony because I'm such a hardcore fan of Wind Waker, and I love that art style. Well, the cartoon art style, and I wanted my game to ultimately be a cartoon game. So yeah, I ended up achieving that. So that was a big deal. That's pretty much all I have here, guys. I do appreciate you sticking with me. I don't know how long this video will end up being, but yeah, I will see you all later.